Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, folks. Welcome back to M1 Racing, and the tension has been building in the paddock all week for this one, the penultimate race of Season 4 of G-Force Racing. This is going to be quite an incredible couple of hours ahead, where we may even decide the Drivers' Championship. More on that in a moment. Before we get into my thoughts, look, we've got M. Dorling back this week with his GFR Digest. So without any further ado, let's get the words from M. Dorling on their take from the last round in Saudi Arabia and his thoughts on the upcoming round in Spain.
Dorling's GFR Digest.
Last week, GFR raced around the streets of Jeddah, a high-speed track and a huge challenge for our elite league, and it produced one thrilling race to say the least. Let's find out how our drivers fared and take a look ahead to this week's event, the Spanish Grand Prix, our penultimate round of Season 4. Gareza had yet another strong race last time out, with a P2 after a tightly fought last few laps in Jeddah. Fresh from their first win at Monza, they have built up a huge amount of confidence-inspiring race results here, and they will be one to watch once again for the race in Spain. SS7 had an unfortunate race-ending incident last time out in Jeddah, but will be looking to make amends in Spain, a track that SS7 is known for being strong at. We look forward to seeing what they can do on Wednesday. Our championship leader, Jakub, has put together an incredible run of brilliant results, and Jeddah was no different, bringing home Mercedes in P1 and firmly placing one hand on the championship. A strong result in Spain will all but seal the crown. Big Tonk had yet another great result in Jeddah. Finishing in a point-scoring position in GFR is no easy feat, and alongside his Ferrari teammate, we are beginning to see consistent point-scoring finishes. We look forward to seeing what he can do at our next event in Spain. Jaguar had another strong outing for their Williams team last time out, with a podium finish. They have established themselves as a force to be reckoned with, and rumour has it, Spain suits their driving style well. Maybe we will see this driver fighting for the win in Spain. Daddy Tonk had yet another great race in Jeddah with a strong and well-deserved P7. This driver is slowly but surely creeping further up the finishing order, and I have no doubt after the completion of Season 4, they will come back in Season 5 and be one to watch. Obo put in a great performance in Jeddah with a small but costly error on the final few laps, the only downfall for this driver. Their finishing position, not a true representation of their strong pace. Obo will be looking to make amends on Wednesday and searching for that elusive Elite League win.
Tom 1998.
Tom is a front-running driver here at GFR, with Jeddah perhaps a small outlier for this driver. We know Tom will be back fighting at the front in Spain in what is set to be a thrilling event. M. Dorling twice rolled the dice with strategy in Jeddah in an effort to offset a slight lack in overall pace, pitting on lap 1 and then staying out at the final safety car. This did not particularly play out well for this driver. However, they can be happy with their final finishing position, all things considered. M. Dorling will be missing for our race in Spain, but we look forward to seeing them return for the final round in Brazil. Emil produced another great qualifying result, but things unfortunately did not go their way for the race. They did, however, complete the full distance and can hold their head up high. Spain is a more traditional circuit, so we look forward to seeing Emil back in action at our next event.
GoatGhosty.
GOAT's Championship Challenge has somewhat stalled over the last few events. They had a strong final result in Jeddah to keep them in the fight. However, they will surely now need some luck for the remaining 2 events to go for glory. This driver has immense speed, so we will have all eyes firmly on them for Spain, an important event especially for Goat.
David's Macktee.
David lined up in P2 for the Saudi Grand Prix, but ultimately ended with a DNF. Whilst it's not entirely clear as to the cause of this result, David is set to return for our race in Spain, and he will sure be a contender for the podium, and we can't wait to see what he can do. This week we ventured to Europe for the Spanish Grand Prix, known for its daring Turn 1 overtakes and high degradation for those Pirelli tyres. It will take great speed and well thought out strategy to take overall honours at this event. We wish our drivers all the best for Wednesday's race, and if you are watching this for the first time and perhaps fancy taking part, please do follow the link to our Discord and social channels and come and be part of the one-of-a-kind G-Force Racing League. Let's go racing!
Dawling's GFR Digest.
Well, there we go. Once again, M. Dawling's thoughts on the race that's just been and the race that's about to be. And we've even got M. Dawling in the Twitch chat and alongside their teammate Obo. Obo's going to be in the Aston Martin garage. And M. Dawling, I believe, is probably sunning themselves somewhere on holiday, I do hope. But M. Dawling's not going to be out on track. But M. Dawling, thank you ever so much for putting those notes together. Taking over from Obo, who'd picked up the reins last week to give us GFR Digest. Both of those guys doing an amazing job for us. So thank you both, and really punchy set of thoughts this week. And let me show you the results from Saudi Arabia. So Decevest was victorious once again, 25 points for them. Grazer, brilliant drive, came home in the end in second. If you watch the replay back, which I encourage you to do because it really was a cracking race, Grazer actually finished third on track, but a correction to a track limits penalty promoted them up into second spot. But huge congratulations to Jaguar who took third place, their first ever podium here with G-Force Racing. So congratulations to them, ever improving every week. And as M. Dawling was saying, maybe we'll see them on the podium again, perhaps even today. Now, what's most notable was the other championship challenger, GoatGhosty, eventually came home in fourth. They had pretty much the race in the palm of their hand for a large portion of it until about midway through. A small accident on their car, had to fix their front wing, and that dropped them back into the pack, and they did eventually finish fourth and took an extra point for fastest lap, limiting the damage. But we'll talk a bit about points before we get into the race in just a minute. M. Dawling came home in fifth. Good drive from M. Dawling in the end. Interesting strategy pitting on lap one. Didn't quite pay off, but still decent points. Tom 1998 had what could be considered, I guess, not the best of races for them, but still 8 points for them. Daddy Tonk, both Ferraris starting to score week on week, so congratulations to Daddy Tonk finishing in seventh. Goat, we did need to talk about your little crash because it was so pivotal. I'd have loved to have known what would have happened if you hadn't had that. I think you'd have won by a country mile, but as it stood, it did unfortunately not allow you to close the gap on Decevest quite how you would like, but fingers crossed for today. Big Tonk there in ninth, and I did just skip over Obo, so apologies Obo. 8th place for you and 4 points more for Aston Martin. Then came Big Tonk, more points for Big Tonk, and Emelicki took the last point and was the last driver to finish. SS7 gets another race without scoring after 3.5 seasons in scoring in every single round. SS7, big crash with Obo on the very last lap through turns 23 and 24 saw SS7 finishing there not finishing, I should say, in the 11th. David Savat, who qualified P1 in Saudi Arabia, sadly didn't finish, but if David is out there, watch for David. He's lightning quick, and if he can keep it on track, I wouldn't count him out for a podium finish today. And Monty there, 13th on the score sheet here, but also DNF. Found Saudi a bit of a struggle. We'll see if they go better in Spain. So, what did that do to the driver standings and why the today is so crucial, folks? If you've not been following G-Force Racing up until now, where have you been? Stick around for today because today is absolutely critical. Desaves or Jakub, as you will know him when they come up on screen in the game, 158 points, 33 clear of GoatGhosty. So Goat has got to at least finish 8 points clear of Desaves before the end of today's race. They've pretty much got to win, let's face it. Or, as Goat's probably got his fingers crossed, the DNF. Goats. I've just caught the Goats comment in the Twitch chat. Would have won by a country mile. Had so much pace in Saudi, and that unfortunately caught you out. Spain's a different proposition, I know. So we'll see what happens. But Goat really needs to win today, and hope that Desaves doesn't finish any better than at least third. Though a few more down would make it very interesting for the final race. So will it go to the final race of the season in Brazil next Wednesday, or are we going to crown a brand new champion in Desaves? And we've also got, now I'll come into this because if anyone's following along on the Twitch chat will have seen a very familiar name just pop up in the form of M1 Righty. We've also got Macktee coming back today. Oh, Goat's correcting my maths. So, okay, so Goat's correcting my maths. If Desaves does finish in third, then he would win as well. I will double check it, but Goat, I trust your judgment on this. You know better than anyone, I guess, at this point. So, yeah, Desaves probably fourth or worse, with Goat winning today is almost a necessity. We'll be keeping a very close eye on positions during the race and obviously right at the very end where it matters. But yeah, so we see M1 writing in the Twitch chat. Welcome back, M1. What a day to come and rejoin GFR after just the one outing for you this season. So we have, and I'm going to call this, I don't want to build this up too much, folks, but I'm going to. All right, so I'm going to build this the race of champions, past and future. We've got the double champion from seasons 2 and 3 in the Elite League. We've got the Ironman champion with Macktee, and we've got 2 potential brand new champions in Desaves and GoatGhosty. You've got to stick around for this. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And don't forget, there are some other pretty quality drivers out there. Don't count Obo out of a podium position. Don't count SS7. Don't count Jakub out. Geraza, who has been amazing over those last few races. I'd see Geraza up there as well. And there's a few others that might have a hand in that. Tom, 1998, might have something to say as well. So we've got some real quality out on track. It's not a huge grid today, so it's going to be very, very tight between some of the best in G-Force racing history. So have I built that up enough? I hope so. Stick around for the next hour and a half or so. This is going to be quite some journey for us. I'm just going to move the video on in the top right corner so you can get a little bit of the action from Saudi Arabia last week. I don't think we will decide the constructors this week. Mercedes leading well, but obviously a very decent result from Mercedes. SS7 has been back to some of his better form in recent weeks, was on the podium a couple of weeks back and was looking odds on for a very high scoring position in Saudi. So Mercedes, maybe, if the results go their way, could wrap up the constructors. But with Goat out there and Macktee driving for McLaren, maybe that gap will come down. I know Obo's flying solo this evening for Aston Martin with M. Dorling on his travels, so Obo will be doing their best to try and steal second place in the constructors. Williams, Alpha, will be Sauber. SS7's graphics not quite brought up to date at this point in time, probably out of the running, but very impressive scoring from pretty much all the teams, sadly except for the RBs there, currently showing on the screen as AlphaTauri. SS7, get your graphics updated, only they're on 2 points, but every team has scored. Well, that's true, Obo. You can indeed secure third today with a decent points finish. Jakub might have something to say about that. So we're just waiting for the ready up. But before we go there, it's another very poignant day for us. Macktee let us know just yesterday that sadly they're going to be stepping away from G-Force Racing for a little while. So I just wanted to remind you all of a very significant Macktee moment from earlier on in Season 4. Macktee has been a fantastic addition to the G-Force Racing League. We're very, very lucky to have had them with us. I'm glad that he could be here for one more with us before he leaves us for a bit of a break and a focus elsewhere. But let me share with you and remind you of this incredible moment from Spa earlier on this season.
To drop back from Macktee and Gareza, who are on those medium tyres. Let's get up to Macktee here. There's a real gaggle of cars coming down the Kemmel Straight. Macktee has found a way through all of them up into second place. What an amazing overtake from Macktee. What a drive so far from Macktee. That's, I think, 3 cars in one move on the Kemmel Straight. Incredible driving from the McLaren.
There goes Macktee. What an incredible driver. Great addition to the league. A very lovely guy to talk to as well. If the McLarens are in their garage a little bit later on, I might stop by and say one last hello to Macktee if he'll talk to me. But we're very, very sorry to see Macktee leave us, as we have done a few other drivers this season who have contributed so significantly to the league. But what a great addition to the community, and we very much have our fingers crossed that at some point in the future they will be back. We do hope so. So thank you, Macktee, for your contribution to G-Force Racing, and we look for how are you going to go here in Spain? Are you going to throw a spanner in the works for both the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship? Perhaps. Will we see some teamwork between the two McLarens? Is Macktee going to try and help out GoatGhosty in their fight for victory in Season 4? Only time will tell. We're just waiting for the ready up. We're about a few minutes later than we would expect at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're not too far away. Perhaps one or two last stragglers, just waiting to come into the lobby. So we're going to be heading off to Spain for the penultimate round very shortly, and if we don't get a deciding result, we are going to be heading off to Brazil next week. Well, we're going to be going to Brazil anyway, whatever happens this evening. But will the championship go down to the wire on the last race of the season, or will we have it decided here today? Only time will tell, but in about an hour or so we will know. So stick around here on M1 Racing. If you're brand new to M1 Racing, you've never been with us before, hit that follow button. It would be great to add to the number that are growing week on week. If you're returning to us, thank you ever so much for being here and being part of the channel. Did also want to quick mention to David T. So David T, I know, has had a bit of a tough week, and we may not be hearing too much from him over the next couple of weeks as he deals with some stuff at home. So we wish David T and the family very well. So hopefully we will hear from David T in the not too distant future. And if he's watching this back, which I dare say he will at some point, we wish you all the best, David. And we have got the ready up. So without any further ado, let's go over for round 11 in Spain for Season 4 of the G-Force Racing League. I'll see you the other side of this.
On the inside of Cox, SS7 goes with them. It's wheel to wheel as we head down towards Vale. 3 cars wide coming down the strip. All right, folks, let's go racing.
And as you could see on that graphic, we have the Iron Man back as well. Next race is going to be this Sunday. I don't think I am going to be able to make that one, sadly, but the rest of the crew will be out on Sunday. So if you are around Sunday, you fancy participating in a 100% race at a random track, which nobody knows about until 30 minutes before the race, then please do hit the button to go over to our Discord server, sign up, and you could participate in the Ironman and drive alongside many of the drivers you're going to see out on track here today in Spain. So looking a little overcast, I think. Yeah, so interesting to see what the weather is going to do. It has been known to rain in Spain from time to time, as the saying goes, so we will see. As we're waiting for a few drivers to head out on their qualifying lap. So just the one session of qualifying for us today, folks. I think if there's enough of a decent turnout, we will have full quali for the final race of the season in Brazil. That's usually the way that SS7 likes to run the season. So, but today it's just the 18 minutes as Goat is the first out. Okay, so Goat means business straight off the bat here and is going to be the first to give us a lap time for everyone else to chase after. Let's get everything we need up on screen so we're not distracted by any of that. Oh, M1 struggling a little bit. I don't know how much time you spend on the game now, but we saw from your last time back with us, you've still got the pace there, finishing on the podium, I think in third. So I will put you out of the mix here for victory in Spain. We've got one new driver as well, actually. I see with Gio for the Williams team. So we'll see how they go. I think they put a very strong time trial time in. They were telling us in the drivers chat earlier in the week. So they could mix things up as well. I mean, this is a top quality grid we've got out here for you folks. I know it's only 11 drivers, but trust me, if I had any more, I wouldn't know where to look. So Goat is on a hot lap, the first of our drivers to get out there and put a time on the board. Into turn 1, through turn 2, very wide on the exit there from Goat. Now Goat had switched to wheel this season, about midway through after they'd scored a whole bucket load of points. So just to make things interesting for themselves, they thought they'd switch it up and move to wheel. They feel as though that pace is coming back to them as well. But they're also racing with no line today. For those of you who don't play the game can give you an assist in the form of a visual racing line to guide you around the best route, or a route on track, I should say, not necessarily the best one. And Goat has said they've got that turned off for this first time. It does become a bit of a crutch, and I can attest to that myself, that it does help with spotting your braking zones and what have you. So Goat is going to go again. We're looking for some other drivers will be coming through to set their own times very shortly. We'll stay with Goat because it's so crucial, that battle between Goat and Jakub that you see on the screen. In our leaderboard, they will show us Decivest, but on screen here, their EAID is Jakub. So Goat has a time on the board, but don't read nothing into that 1:17.922. These times will be substantially quicker than that. M1 Righty, if you're still listening to me, you did set the fastest race lap last time out when we were here in Season 3 with a 1:13.469. So these qualifying times will be quicker, as Obo is showing us a 1:12.353. As Obo has provisional pole for Aston Martin right now. Oh, and Goat's gone extremely wild there. So it's not working out early doors for Goat. We'll come away from Goat and give them a moment's peace, and we'll go to Gio here, who I believe is a Macktee 1:11.875 for them, full half a second quicker than Obo. Gio gets a 1:12.959, perhaps just settling in a little bit more, but Macktee has really set the target. SS7 has got a time on the board of 1:12.24.357, but I think they are going again now, perhaps just warming up a set of tyres. Let me put the tyres on. Yeah, everyone is on softs, no great surprise there. So M1 Righty, let's get to them and see what a two-time GFR champion can do around this track in Barcelona in Spain. And I might make you all a little bit jealous, folks. I've got tickets for Barcelona next season, so I am very much looking forward to go and see a real-world race here in Spain at what would likely be, for a while at least, the last race here at this track in Barcelona before F1 moves to Madrid, to a street track. Bit controversial, I know, for some, but we're very much looking forward to enjoying the last one here, and M1 is looking to enjoy their first qualifying lap with just under 13 minutes left to go. David T, welcome. I see you in the Twitch chat. I hope all is well with you and the family, David. Good to have you with us. So, into... That was the infamous corner of turn 6, where it's notable for a certain Mr. Hannes resetting to track for the very first time in G-Force Racing history, which has now become a legend, and there's even a Twitch emote on my channel dedicated to the infamous Mr. Hannes. M1 righty throwing this Alpine around the corners of the Barcelona circuit here, looking to set a time on the board. David T's found Mr. Hannes emote, and M1 righty goes fastest of everyone, a 1:11.721. Welcome back, M1, showing everyone how it's done as usual. And I think Obo needs an invite back into the game, but I'm hoping SS7 will get there before I can, so we can stay with qualifying. Oh, I see a car in the gravel there. SS7 just heading into the pit, so Obo, hopefully SS7 will get you back in very, very shortly. Tom 1998, I think that was having a big old moment. So Jakub, they've got to get to our championship leader. If they finish in front of Goat today, they're absolutely guaranteed the championship. And got to give Jakub the credit. You know, when they first joined us in G-Force Racing, they were solid midfield driver, but have gradually worked and have now standing there on the top of the pile at the moment, and every chance of becoming our season 4 champion. But the nerves, I'm sure, will be jangling as we see what time they get on the board. 1:17. No, so Jakub will need to go an awful lot faster than that. So Babe 2 may have had a moment. And this track in Spain is not the easiest to navigate. So Macktee, who has been getting better and better week on week, that is for sure, and has been setting some absolutely electric qualifying times in recent weeks. They have quite converted that pace into the races themselves. But Mackee's pulled some... Oh, they're struggling a little bit with the back end of the Red Bull through turn 12 there. But watch for them pull something out of the bag towards the end of qualifying. It's very overcast here in Spain, so we'll see what that does later on the race. Mackee's got a time on the board of 1:12.713. You can see the difference between M1 and Macktee and then the rest of the field. Looks like Obo is on an outlap, so hopefully that connection is being resolved for Obo. All right, Graza's turn. So Graza won in Monza, and then last week came second in Saudi Arabia. I've been very impressed with them since their arrival with G-Force Racing. And a 1:12.161 for them, so provisional 4th for them. And it's getting very busy out on track here in Spain with many cars coming out of the pits all at the same time. So Jakub did get on the board so early. Okay, so must have made a mistake early on, saved that battery, won again, 1:11.807. Goat has got a time on the board, 1:12.510. Really, it's between Jakub and Goat for the championship. So they are the key protagonists here for us. Goat is back out on an outlap. Jaguar Paul's got a time on the board of 1:12.637. SS7 back out again. So Tom is the only driver so far without any qualifying time whatsoever. Tom is also impressed with their pace, and they've just got to keep it neat and tidy, and I think I could see them winning here today. A little bit of a struggle early on in qualifying. Let's ride on board with Tom. Tom won on their debut with us in Spa. Absolutely blitzed the field with a cracking drive from them. As we come round the sweeping turn 3, underneath the bridge. Brake as we go up the hill, turn 4, and this is, I gave it the wrong number earlier, this is turn 5, the infamous Hannes reset to track corner through turn 5. Then there's 6, which really isn't a corner, then 7, a lot of curb from Tom as he comes through there. What a team this would be if we could get these guys to stick together. M1 Righty and Tom 1998. I look forward to these two hopefully sticking around for season 5. Then through turn 10, which will be an overtaking opportunity for some, definitely in the early stages of the race, and then in the latter stages when tyres and fuel loads are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Tom coming around the final corner here. We're going to be in the 11.873 for Tom, so displaces Gareza 1 place, takes provisional 4th away. Macktee is on another lap, as is Goat, their teammate. Just keeping an eye on Goat. Looks as though they're coming around the final corner now, so keep your eye on the timing screen, see if Goat improves. It does indeed, takes provisional second, a 1:11.769, just 3/100ths quicker than their teammate Macktee. Macktee very even with their previous time. That back end of the McLaren starting to drift through turn 4, then through turn 5, a little lock up on the front left, back on the power, heading down the hill underneath the bridge. I think Macktee may have pulled out of that one. Yes, so Macktee backing off will go again very shortly. Let's get down. I think Jo is, are they improving? We're going to stay with Gio and heading into the pits for Gio, so they got a 1:12.899. Not quite able to convert that time trial pace yet into a better place on the running order, but just enough time for a splash of fuel, brand new tyres, and perhaps one more go. Macktee, I think, was going again. Who else is out there? Tom is heading back into the pits, I think. So Macktee may go again, or is Macktee in for another set of tyres? Or they may have called it a day. Right now, Goat is in the box seat. Will have the protection of their teammate in Macktee to perhaps defend from Jakub. This is going to be interesting, folks. Jakub needs SS7 in the mix here as well. Now, SS7 won the very, very first race of a G-Force Racing history. That was the pre-season for season 1. And SS7 won that one here in Spain. I remember it well. If you ever want to go back and look at any G-Force race since season 1, they're all available on my YouTube channel. And you could go and watch any event from season 4, and I can tell you they're all absolutely brilliant. But even back to the earlier seasons as well, it's been a very, very strong championship throughout. And you see drivers like Jakub, Goat, M1, Obo gradually improving and improving and improving. So it's not that any of our longer term drivers have got worse, it's just everyone else has just got quicker and quicker. And it's really encouraging to see, and it's a testament to the level of practice that these guys put in week on week to improve. And we know as a result some are deciding to look for additional leagues to race in, and indeed some of the top leagues to race in, and that is the quality of driver we have here at G-Force Racing. If you're liking what you see here, folks, and you want to take part on a Wednesday, head over to Discord server, sign up for season 5, or indeed, as I said earlier, the Ironman. You could be out there on this grid as well. So Gio is back out there for another attempt, trying to beat their 1:12.899. We very much welcome them to G-Force Racing, and it is super early in the morning for them, I understand, possibly 3 or 4 a.m. So I'd be half asleep behind the wheel at this particular point. So Gio, keep focused, and let's see if you can beat that time. The target for everyone right now is still M1 Righties, 1:11.721. And I think we've got a few drivers complaining about some lag as well. So perhaps some connectivity challenges on the server today. I do hope that doesn't disrupt us too much. That may cause SS7 to think about creating a new lobby, but I think we'll see out the qualifying here before that decision is made. We've only got 3 minutes left to go. GAO is improving by just over 0.2, so looking to improve on that 112.899 and moving their way up. Sadly, no Ferraris out there this week, and obviously Ferrari are in the real world in Spain at the moment, and Lewis Hamilton practicing in that Ferrari for the very first time. Sadly for them, if reports are to be believed, had a bit of a moment today, and that stopped any further testing for the Ferrari team. And maybe that's the reason we don't have Ferrari here in GeForce Racing today. Who knows? But we do have Gio for Williams trying to get a time on the board. Does not look to be improving, I don't think, too much here. They were, my screen saying potentially 0.2 up earlier in the lap, but not much more of improvement. Where will they finish? 8 thousandths. So small improvement for Gio. They're going to be starting in 11th. So who else is out there? Right, Jakub is 111.807 their current time. Would desperately love to be in front of Goat, but they also might decide to play the long game. They cannot afford to finish in 4th. We've definitely established that. And for Goat to win, if they don't want to take it to the last round of Season 4, I would love it to go to the last round of Season 4, but if Jakub wins it here today, they have certainly earned it. They have driven ever so well throughout Season 4. So Jakub coming around the final corners to start their qualifying lap. So on board with Jakub in the Mercedes as we head down to Turn 1. Our drivers trying to take as much speed as they possibly can to then drag their car back up the hill through Turn 2. Then that long sweeping left-hander of 3. Braking just underneath the bridge. Very aggressive turn in there from Jakub, but that worked well. The car grabbed on the inside of the corner nicely. Then through 5. Little bit of curb on the inside, a lot of curb on the outside. Then through 7 and 8. Nice line from Jakub through the S's there. Now a flat-out right-hander for most of our drivers in qualifying. May think differently on the hard tyres in the race itself. Coming down to Turn 10. Sharp left hand. Car wants to drift out onto that red stuff on the outside, but Jakub keeps it very nice and tight with the Mercedes. There's a car well out of the way in the gravel on the left-hand side. Round the final corners of the lap. Let's see if Jakub can improve. No, they've obviously lost some time there. I missed that. Sorry, folks, I really did miss that. I thought they were going a lot faster than that, unless they backed out and are going again. But they really have no time left. That was it. So Jakub, I'd be surprised if they do improve. There are other drivers trying to improve, though, and this might open the door for a few to get ahead of Jakub. Top 1998 being one of them, that 111.873. They do not only need to improve by very much to get ahead of Jakub into 4th spot, and those further ahead of them, there's such little time between. There's only a couple of tenths between 5th and 1st here, and Tom is up by 3 tenths through Sector 2, so going well for Tom. Goat has left qualifying, so they're happy that 111.769 maybe has saved a set of tyres perhaps as well, which may be no bad thing for the main race, unless they just had enough, which could be perfectly legitimate. So 111.607, Tom takes pole, and I don't think anyone else is going to catch them. And Gio's in the pits, and Jakub is improving. Did they just steal fastest lap there? They did indeed. Jakub, where did that come from? So Jakub is on pole position. That came out of absolutely nowhere. The second lap on those soft tyres as well, but they've possibly judged that absolutely spot on. Wow. So I'm glad we were with Jakub right at the very end there of qualifying. that is going to put Jakub on pole. We're just waiting for that final classification to come up on screen. I wonder if there may be a lobby issue because it doesn't usually take this long to come up. So we might be having a new lobby in just a moment. Oh, and it skipped through very, very quickly straight through to the main event. I'm going to keep an eye on the driver's chat just in case, because even for me that didn't look particularly promising, but you never know. And there's congratulations from Tom in the driver's chat to Jakub, so that definitely confirms that Jakub is on pole position, and this is top form stuff from Jakub and really in keeping with their activity so far. So that's very good qualifying from Jakub. Now I'm just keeping an eye on things here. This does seem to be taking a while. We would not normally have to wait this long, but you never know. If we do line up on the grid, we'll have 5 red lights and we'll go racing for this penultimate round of season 4. There's no formation lap, so we go straight into the racing. Our drivers will need to be on their toes right from the get-go. This track here in Spain at 4.6 kilometres long. Those 14 corners we've seen them trying to negotiate. There are 2 DRS zones, one down that main straight and the other one down the back straight between turns 9 and 10, which give us the best overtaking opportunities. You may see the odd opportunist move into turn 5 and maybe turn 7, but that can be a bit risky. All right, folks, looks like we're good to go. All right, folks, let's go racing for the penultimate round of season 4 of G-Force Racing, with Jakub, our championship leader, leading everyone away. Tom 1998 having their poles stolen away from them at the last minute, has gone with them. Where's the car? There's an Alpine going very, very wide of M1 righty. Looks as though they've taken a Macktee with them. GoatGhosty down there in 7th. It's not gone desperately wrong early on for the 2 McLaren drivers, and Jakub leads the way. Exactly what Jakub would have hoped for. And that's really played into their hands for the championship, but a long way to go. 33 laps of the Spanish circuit here for our drivers to negotiate. Tom is on the rear end. Obo up into 3rd. Good start for them in these early stages. We'll very quickly bring up the winners and losers early on. So Obo up 4. What a cracking start for them. And trying to get back into that 1 second of Tom. Grazer's with them in 4th. SS7 also up 4. So it's been a good start for Mercedes here. Then comes Jaguar in 6th up 2, and Gio really taking advantage of whatever happened towards the back there, and a very, very wide Goat on, I think that was GoatGhosty on the exit of 14 there, trying to get on to the back of Gio. So the Williams going well, and now Goat, M1 righty, Emma Leckie and Macktee all trying to recover. Macktee losing a massive 7 positions early on for them. Macktee grabbing their very first ever, which was quite incredible. I'm not quite sure how Macktee has never won a race in the Elite League until this season, but he finally got it this season. I don't think there was anybody happier for him than David T and myself. So, but Macktee is struggling here in the early stages of the Spanish Grand Prix. Remember though that Macktee is the Ironman champion from season 1. They know how to negotiate a racetrack, and Tom knows their way around here too, keeping Jakub under all sorts of extreme pressure. Grazer is just about sticking with them with DRS now activated on lap 2. Jakub not able to get away, and we'll probably see this if the driver can stay within the range of DRS, and we'll see the power of it here for Tom. Should be able to stick in the slipstream as lap times start to come down. 1:14.637 as Tom is going to go 3 on Jakub and take the lead of this race on lap 3. Grazer is now through on Obo up into 3rd. We'll see a lot of drivers switching position here, and SS7 has broken the DRS to Gio and Jaguar, and Gio already up through on their teammate actually, so it's a good start to this race for Gio, up 5 places. So let's bring the tyres up and see what our drivers have decided to do for strategy.
Oh, we've got a real mixture going on here. So Goat is going long. Now that could be interesting. Safety cars. Oh, no, Oboe goes very wide through turn 8 there, through the gravel over those big sausage curves. But these top 5 are breaking away from Geo in 6th, 2 seconds the gap. But SS7 and Oboe and Grazer will be okay with that. SS7 on those soft tyres probably is the best they could probably hope for at this point, and might be able to drag those soft tyres a little bit longer as a result of hanging on to the rear end of the Aston Martin. Tom setting the fastest lap at 1:14.462. Jakub is on those soft tyres, so we'll have to pit earlier than everyone else around them other than SS7 and Geo. And it looks as though there's some moves going on in the back. Macktee through on Emeleki. Emeleki on their typical hard tyre to start a race. No great surprise there. But these gaps will close down. Now Geo's got to go some, because they're going to have, and I wouldn't be surprised to see their teammate Jakub trying to get through on Geo pretty quickly, as those softs will not hang on for long here in Spain. And M1 righty will be trying to close down on Jakub. It's 1.5 seconds. Yeah, time's coming down all the time. So these hards will go well into the second half of this race, barring a safety car. And with the quality of drivers that we have out here today, folks, I really don't anticipate too many safety car events unless somebody really goes for it or misjudges it. So hard runners probably on the right strategy. We will see. Only time will tell. Lap 4 of 33. Plenty of time for this race to unfold in front of us. If you're watching along with me, give me your early predictions for who is going to win this one. And is Jakub going to take the championship here in Spain, or is it going to go to the last one? I'd love to know your thoughts on all of that. So M1 righty is now almost within that 1 second DRS. Indeed is in the range of DRS now on Jakub. So Jakub will start looking over their shoulder at our 2-time GFR champion coming fast at them as their medium tyres start to degrade and those hards start to come in to their own. Goat is sticking with M1 righty. This could be a very interesting train of cars on these longer strategies. Macktee is on mediums, but if anyone can take those mediums a long way, it's most definitely Macktee. Emeleki 2.5 seconds back from these three in 11th. We'll get down to Emeleki and at least say hello to them. Looks as though their car is all in one piece, and we'll sit patiently. It will come. The races often do come to Emeleki over time, and I'm intrigued to see how this hard tyre strategy works out. Now, Tom has not pulled away from Jakub in front. We do have a yellow flag. Now, was that one of the Williams? I think that was a blue dot I saw. Well, no, it was an Alpine. It was an Alpine of M1 righty. Oh, my word. M1 righty has had a moment through 13, I think it was. So M1 righty drops down into 11th, and that certainly helped out Emeleki. So M1 righty's got all that work to do. Once again, they were closing down on Jakub at a rate of knots, but have dropped back to 11th. Let's get back to the front here, because we were just saying Tom has not pulled away from Jakub, but Jakub is doing their best, I think, right now, just to hang on to the rear end of Tom. And it'll be interesting to see if Grazer looks to make a challenge now on Jakub. Some reasonable, there is a third of a battery left, the ERS, that yellow bar on Grazer's steering wheel, to potentially deploy. If we look at Jakub's steering wheel, well, Jakub's been conserving that ERS pretty effectively. So the tow from Tom, a major advantage for the Mercedes driver. But Oboe is sitting there too, and I do not count Oboe out of a podium here, or even the win. I think they've performed so well this season. Their transition to the wheel has gone very, very effectively in Season 4 and has really found some pace. They're already quick, but the wheel is definitely continuing to help them improve as M1 righty gets through on Emeleki one more time, up into 10th place for our previous champion. I'll tell you what, if we had Predestinato out today on this track and maybe MVR
J Repo, this truly would be the race of champions. So I wonder if we could make that happen. We'll have to have a chat with SS7. That will be one hell of a lineup here on M1 Racing in the G-Force Racing League. All right, so this group of 5 drivers seem very happy to sit in the slipstream of Tom 1998. My big question right now is, does Grazer really want to stick behind Jakub? Or do they make a move on the Mercedes sooner rather than later? I've got to think the Jakub must be thinking about a pit stop in the not too distant future. These softs, in my experience around Spain, are not the best tyre after the first 10% or so, 20% or so of a race. So, but Jakub still looking to hang on to the back here, and to some extent shapes to make a move on Tom into turn 1, but ducks back in, and I think that's predominantly just to defend from Grazer. And Grazer also seems content enough to sit there in 3rd. Obo hanging on there in 4th, or certainly sitting quite comfortably, and SS7 also doing a reasonable job there, just hanging on to the Aston Martin. It's got very, very tight towards the front, so I think these softs for Jakub are really starting to struggle, and Grazer may be sniffing an opportunity now, potentially through our second DRS zone. DRS now open on the Sauber, as indeed it is on the Mercedes in front of us, so we're all travelling very close together. Little lock up from the Sauber as we go into turn 10, now through 11. Then this tricky turn 12, the car, you want to accelerate, desperate to accelerate, but as soon as you put your foot on the accelerator, the back end wants to step out and throw you into the scenery. But the drivers in this league handling that very, very nicely right now. So Grazer sitting there, getting closer under the main DRS zone on the start-finish straight. That battery light flashing on the back of the Mercedes as everyone recharges that battery under braking. And Jaguar and Gio, I just see battling it out here for 7th and 8th, and indeed Macktee is actually up through on the 2 Williams drivers. So here comes Macktee, 5 seconds they've got to make up to SS7. Keep your eye on that time difference, folks, because SS7's on very, very old soft tyres right now, relatively speaking. And Macktee coming for SS7 and trying to recover. Goat, though, really seems to be just sat there in 10th right now. But remember, on those hard tyres. And we'll see how far they can take them. They will have so much more pace come the end of this lap. We'll see how far Goat takes it. But Goat has been passed by M1 Righty again. So Goat may wish that they turned their racing line on. We will see. We will see. We're on lap 9 of 33. I think the first pit stops may be fast approaching as we tick up to lap 10. So watch for when the soft runners blink first. We'll ride on board with M1 Righty as it looks to go for a move on the Williams of Jaguar. Impressed with Gio's pace here. As Jaguar looks down on the inside of their teammate, M1 Righty thinks, I'll go round the outside, thank you very much. No, nothing doing there. Has to slot back in. Now we'll try the outside of turn 3. Can that work? Is there a smallest gap for the Alpine? Indeed there is, and they'll have the inside for turn 4. So M1 Righty is through on the 2 Williams in one move. Back end of the Alpine stepping out as they come through, but that's M1 up into 7th place. I'm glad we're on board for that one. M. Dorling in the Twitch chat. Macktee on a comeback drive. Sure are. 4.6 seconds there. Closed down half a second already on this lap to SS7. So Macktee on a charge. We've got a yellow flag. Where is that yellow flag? Is that... that's Gio. That is Gio recovering as they came out of turn 8 there. So I do think these soft tyres have seen better days, although Jakub would like to disagree with me. They're through on Tom, back into the lead of this race. So going incredibly well for Jakub, although here comes Tom one more time, and now Grazer's got DRS. So Jakub could lose 2 positions in one go here. So Grazer up into 2nd, Tom into the lead. And let's see, is Grazer going to have a major influence on the outcome of this championship?
Obo would like to have a say in it. SS7 is the first to pit off of those soft tyres. 10-second speeding. Oh, get me words out, folks. Speeding penalty for Geo in the pit lane. So that will hurt them unless they pit one more time. They can clear that 10 seconds, but they are going to have that time added on somehow to their race. Geo and SS7 looking to take brand new hard tyres to the end of this race, but that's another 22 laps away after this one, so it's a long way to go. M1 Righty might be our gauge for the distance these hard tyres might go. Let's see when they come in. M1 Righty was very good on tyres in F1 We'll see if they can carry that ability through into F1 24. M1 Righty one here in season 3, so if anyone knows how to win in Spain, it's most definitely M1 Righty, and Jakub is in to get off of those aging soft tyres, so we know they will not go any further. They'll have to go on to hards. I'm pretty sure that will stay with Jakub. Indeed they do. They've gone on to hard, so no more pit stops planned, I would suggest, for the Mercedes driver. But I would expect our medium runners now may be looking to try and get as far into this race as possible on those mediums, with the hope that a soft might be available for our drivers who are not racing today but watching along with me here on Twitch. Let me know in the Twitch chat, do you think that's realistic? Could you take these mediums far enough and then switch on to softs towards the end? We saw Jakub and SS7 pretty much had enough of those soft tyres after about 10 laps. So will these mediums do 22 laps? We'll see. Tom is in the lead of this race. Grazer now second. Obo up into third. Macktee now in fourth. Gradually closing down in this front three. And GoatGhosty picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. It's proving like an uphill battle here for GoatGhosty, sadly, here in Spain. Maybe we won't have the dramatic ending in Brazil for the Drivers' Championship. But don't count anything out yet, because Jakub's got to come back into this. They're in 9th right now. So much could happen from here. We're not even halfway yet, as Grazer now takes the lead of this race on lap 13. Obo has dropped out of the range of DRS, so we'll struggle to get back onto the rear end. And Macktee is coming for Obo now. 4.3 seconds between the Aston Martin and the McLaren driver. M1 Righty still on those older hard tyres, 4.4 seconds back from Macktee, but also looking like they're closing that gap down. Let me just have a look at last lap times. So Macktee on those mediums, a 1:16.3 was their last lap, whereas M1 Righty 1:15.5, so 8 tenths quicker for the hard runners at this point. So hards do look to be like the tyre to be have started on when you get to this point in the race. We'll see Jakub gradually going a little bit faster now on brand new hard tyres. SS7's last lap on those new hard tyres was a 1:15.6, so SS7 really only lapping a similar time to the current medium runners, so not a huge advantage for the brand new hards over those 13 lap old mediums, it would seem, at the moment. And Grazer set at 1:15.8 and Macktee 1:15.5, so there's still plenty of pace in those medium tyres. Obo is in. They're off of those mediums. They've gone on to hards at this point in the race. They'll drop down a couple of positions on track, but bear in mind there are a number of drivers, half the grid, yet to pit. So Tom, Grazer, Macktee, M1 Righty, Emelecki and GoatGhosty all yet to pit. Goat might be going for softs at the end. I think they might roll the dice here and just go as far as they can. They are on the back of Emelecki, clearly struggling a little bit for consistency here in Spain. Not surprising, having just recently switched to wheel and then turning racing line off for the first time. But you don't improve unless you try these things out. So Tom's trying their best to break DRS to Grazer. It's not working for them. Let's get down to Macktee. The gap says 6.3, of course, with Obo pitting, so they're going to try and close down further still on Grazer in front of them. Macktee lapping just fractionally faster, but Macktee is in now. And there is the possibility of an undercut here in Spain as well. So those who pit earlier or pit at the right time before their challenges in front of them potentially get a track advantage later on in the race, but they won't have the tyre delta of the later stoppers. But Macktee will come back out onto track just behind Obo here into 9th spot. So Jakub will be the net race leader at this point once everyone has pitted, but will be on significantly older hard tyres by the time that happens, as we see a lock up from Emelecki. M1 righty 9.9 seconds back from Grazer now, so compare lap times there. Let me see, so M1's last lap was a 1:15.5, and yeah, so the Sauber 1:15.8. So those hards going pretty darn well still for M1 righty. Certainly a little bit more pace than Grazer at this point, but the mediums have not dissipated as much as you might expect as we're coming up on the halfway point in this Spanish Grand Prix in Season 4, where at the moment we are likely to crown Jakub Velozga as the Season 4 champion. But Goat is in front of them on track, and a safety car might mix things up incredibly at this point. We shall see. As I mentioned earlier, I don't expect any safety cars today, but you can never say never, I suppose. Tom is on the back. Well, Tom has been passed by Grazer. Grazer back in the lead of this race, and these two medium runners pretty much dragging each other along. From M1 righty is now in third on track. 5 drivers yet to make their mandatory pit stops, and these mediums trying to hang on for as much as they dare. That gap to M1 righty really isn't dropping dramatically, so these mediums are able to take this quite some distance, and I wonder if they'll roll the dice and see if they keep that gap of around about 10 seconds. It's definitely worth going a lot further, unless these tyres suddenly drop off an absolute cliff as Tom retakes the lead of this race. Both drivers working together essentially, albeit on different teams, but essentially to see who is going to win this race. Emelecki's still there in fourth, so good drive from Emelecki so far. They've got Goat behind them 2 seconds back, but Goat is now being closed down by Jakub here in sixth on those newer hard tyres, dragging their teammate SS7 with them, so it potentially could be a 1-2 for Mercedes, and that would pretty much seal the deal in the Constructors' Championship. So we may be declaring both the Constructors' Champions and Drivers' Champions at this point in time, based on current track position and pit stops yet to come. Looking like a very strong day for the Mercedes team so far. And we can see it must be a serious day because there are very few drivers in the garages. I might normally, at various points in a race, if we have a safety car, what have you, go and talk to drivers. But I think everyone is so focused on driving, they don't want to be talking to me today. But I do see both the Mercedes drivers there and Obo in the Aston Martin garage. So we may go and say hi at the end of this race, unless we get some kind of interruption. So Jakub pulling along their teammate SS7, gradually closing the gap to GoatGhosty there in fifth. That gap is 2.2 seconds. Goat is lapping just under a second slower than the two Mercedes behind them. So that gap will start to close down. But M1 righty really hasn't made huge inroads on Grazer, which surprises me a little, unless M1 has picked up a little bit of damage. Nothing visual that I can see on that Alpine, but doing a reasonable job, and maybe it's starting to come now. So 8.7 seconds, it was 9.5 a little while ago. These mediums may be on the way out now for Tom and Grazer, so keep your eye on the timing screens in the top left to see if either of these are which one is first to blink and get in and onto some brand new tyres, and then what tyre do they go on to? Is it softs? Is it hards? You can't go on to mediums again, and I think hards would just be the wrong choice with less than half the race now left to go. So I think Tom and Grazer are stuck on that strategy. They've got to throw the dice and go for softs at the end of this race. And they are going to be so rapid. You saw that our drivers doing 112s, 111s in qualifying on those soft tyres. That's a full 5-6 seconds quicker than anyone is doing right now. That's a huge amount of time you can make up in just a handful of laps. So any time lost, they are, Careza and Tom, doing well to keep that gap to M1 righty so far out. And Goat must have had another moment with Jakub and SS7 getting through on the McLaren driver here. So Jakub up into 5th, SS7 up into 6th now on track. Goat yet to pit down there in 7th. Obo is here in 8th. 3-second time penalty for Gio, I think, to go with the one they may already have. Let's have a quick check of penalties. Oh, so Gio, had that 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, plus the 3 seconds they've just picked up for track limits. That's if you put 4 wheels over the white lines on the edge of the track 3 times, you're going to get a 3-second time penalty, and they are cumulative, folks. So if you do that another 3 times, you'll get another 3 seconds. Only Goat and Gio have fallen foul of that here, but it is easy to do around tracks like this. Emeleki is into the pits and starts to drop down the order. What tyres does Emeleki go on to? I've got to imagine mediums. Keep an eye on screen. Yeah, mediums for Emeleki. So M1 Right is still out there on those 19 lap old. 10 seconds speeding penalty for Goat. This is going backwards, and Goat is sadly DNF'd in the pit lane. So that does mean Jakub is going to be our season 4 champion here with G-Force Racing. So congratulations to Jakub. That is victory in season 4, nailed on for Jakub. So it now comes down to who is going to win here in Spain. And there's a Constructors' Championship also to be won, which could be decided right now as well. But I have front runners of Tom 1998 and Grays are in. What a time to come to both of them here as they come into the pit lane together with another 12 laps, 13 laps to go. My apologies. So at least Goat has made my maths very, very simple tonight. I'm sorry to see Goat leave the race, but the challenge that they've given throughout the season and the first half of the season, got to say, from Goat was pretty spectacular. No one could touch them, and I admire them for really giving it a fantastic go on the wheel. It's not worked out for them the second half of the season, and that consistent driving from Jakub, who has attended pretty much every race, has helped them to be in the position that they are. But congratulations to Goat, and thank you ever so much for being with us here in season 4. I hope you're going to be back at least for Brazil next week to close out season 4. So we've had everyone pit except for M1 Righty, 8.2 seconds clear. What is M1 going to do here? Safety car, says M1, safety car. That's what they want right now. They've managed to hold the gap to Jakub at a reasonable amount. So M1 is still doing 115.9 compared to last lap, compared to Jakub's 115.6. So don't count M1 out from victory here, folks. This could be one immense drive. No, that's what I was thinking. It was softs, I think, was the only option for them, considering how far Tom and Grazer had taken those mediums. Just hards would have been too slow for them at this point, and we're starting to see that. The hards really don't have much additional pace here, it would seem. It's just that consistency from M1 has given them such a significant advantage out there on track. They do have to pit. But Jakub and SS7 will go on such super old tyres. But Tom and Grazer are right onto the back of Jakub and SS7 in no time at all on these soft tyres. So this is going to be an easy pass for Tom. Why don't we ride on board with the Alpine as they look to get past the first of the Mercedes. DRS for SS7 in front. But there goes Tom through on SS7. Can Tom make short work of Jakub, our champion for Season 4 elect. We'll hand out all the trophies in the final race in Brazil next week, folks. But this should be another easy move for Tom, unless Jakub has got an awful lot of battery to play with. It looks as though they have a decent amount to dump on that Mercedes Grazer with a 1:13.840. That's the fastest lap. That is 3 seconds faster than our hard runners are doing right now, folks. So this is quick on the softs. Yeah, Goat, welcome to the Twitch chat. I'd rather you were out there still racing, my friend. But thanks for saying hi. Those hards are slow, much slower, and I think bear in mind some of these are much older now, so they're probably 1.2 seconds slower, brand new. But I'm seeing huge differences now on my timing screens between these old hards and these new softs. So will Tom make it through on Jakub to take the lead of this race? Grazer sitting behind Tom. We ought to have a widescreen view here for this, because there's an awful lot of action yet to happen here as they come round the final corners of lap 23. Jakub defending for his life, I'm sure would love to win it on track here, but I think their defence is going to be short-lived here, with a much better exit there for Tom. They're going to come through. Is Grazer going to follow them through? This ride on board with Grazer. Indeed, they go through. They have so much more power with that DRS. SS7, no defence whatsoever. Here comes Obo now in 5th. They're on 10-lap old hard tyres. Macktee is on the rear end of Obo, looking to come through and make it up into 5th spot after recovering from the back of the field, it has to be said, after the early corners on lap 1. M1 Righty is pitted. I missed that because we were so focused on that battle at the front. M1 Righty in onto medium tyres. So M1 Righty did not like the idea of softs at all. We'll see how quick they go on those compared to the softs, and still quite a way to go on softs. Another 10 laps for Tom and Grazer, and they're not, they are at the moment, I guess, streaking away from Jakub. Keep an eye on that gap, 1.6 seconds currently. I would not count out M1 Righty here, folks. I could see this Alpine flying through this field in no time at all. Gio is still going, and with Goat's departure, as Tom sets the fastest lap of 1:13.230. With Goat's departure, Gio, you are going to get a point if you finish this race on your first outing, your debut with G-Force Racing. So keep it pointing in the right direction, Gio. Grazer is up into the lead of this race, and these drivers are going to have to work together again and perhaps fight it out on the final lap for the victory here. But they've got to get away from Jakub, SS7, Macktee and Obo, and the fast charging M1 Righty. Don't count out Emeleki for a decent finish here. The safety car would really throw the cat amongst the pigeons, but we continue on lap 25. Both Grazer and Tom looking to add to their haul of victories here, and joining us in the second half of season 4. What a great addition both of these drivers have been, giving us some excellent racing, and really helped set this league alight in season 4. 2.5 seconds now, the gap to Jakub from SS7. The two Mercedes working together as SS7 picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could play into the hands of Macktee, who's got through on Obo. So Macktee is coming for you, Mercedes. That gap now 2 seconds to SS7 in front of Macktee. 4-lap delta on their tyres compared to SS7s, who pitted much earlier than the McLaren. Obo drops back in behind Macktee, hoping to use the slipstream of the McLaren to drag them along. M1 Righty's last lap was a 1:13.695. Not quite the fastest lap of the race so far, but they did go purple in one of the sectors there. So M1 Righty's got some pace. Now 4 seconds. So yeah, 1:13 compared to Obo, whose last lap was a 1:15, so 1:15.5, so nearly 2 seconds quicker for M1 over the Aston. Macktee is with a 1:14.3, not a bad time considering the age of those hard tyres for Macktee. Macktee's found some pace here as the fuel loads lighten. And the benefit of DRS is, I guess, they're trying to make their way through on the cars in front of them. Macktee may be on the podium for their final race with GeForce Racing for some time, and what a great way it will be to leave with a podium finish for Macktee. Grazer and Tom continuing to switch, and that gap to Jakub is indeed growing quite substantially. A 4.2 second gap now to Jakub in third place. Even if Jakub doesn't finish the race now, they are going to be our season 4 champion with one race left to go. Macktee now 1.7 seconds back from SS7, closing in all the time on the Mercedes pair, and they're having the effect of dragging Obo with them. So good driving from Obo just to stick with a fast charging Macktee. But M1 Righty is coming as well, 3.2 seconds back for them now of the Aston Martin. Emeleki there in 8th, then Jaguar there in 9th, 10 seconds back, a long way back. Probably will take the Williams to the end here. They probably would like a safety car dash into the pits for maybe Jaguar or Gio may go for fastest lap and still a point away from someone. Nothing to lose for Williams at this point in the race. Oh, I think Obo's just had a moment there coming through turn 12. So that is going to play into the hands. Indeed, it is playing into the hands of M1 Righty, who is in the range of DRS. Wonder if M1 does indeed pick up DRS. They have. So M1 DRS on the Aston Martin. M1 Righty coming at a rate of knots now. Still an awful long way on track for them to go to get onto the podium. But they've certainly got a substantial pace here. Obo having to take a very wide line through 3. Will M1 go down the inside? Indeed they do. So much more grip for the Alpine. Through on Obo. That's how you do a pass there. As M1 moves up into 6th place. And how has Macktee to contend with ahead of them for 5th? Macktee is now on the back of SS7. SS7 with that 3-second track limit penalty. Breaking into turn 10. SS7 have been dragged along there by their teammate of Jakub. Has done a pretty decent job actually. SS7 really back to form in recent races. Will probably have been hoping for a podium here. They'll certainly get a decent scoring position, and this may well secure the championship for Mercedes. We'll tot up some points as best we can at the end. I'll get my calculator out. If any of you in the Twitch chat would like to do the same for me, I'd appreciate it. But Macktee will at least look to get some points on the board here from McLaren. But I think that gap was close to 50 points already for Mercedes, so it could well be enough here. 6.4 seconds the gap between Jakub and Tom. Those soft tyres not falling off a cliff at all at this point in time. Grazer in the lead of this race. Could be on for another victory here for GeForce Racing. We're on board with Macktee as they close down SS7 and Jakub on some very, very old hard tyres. And M1 Righty within 1.8 seconds of Macktee. We can now see the McLaren in front of us. Obo has dropped out the range of DRS from M1 Righty, so looking like a 7th place finish for them, unless Emeleki can close down, but they're 8.5 seconds back from the Aston Martin. So just looking at the race results from Season 3 here, folks. So M1 Righty won last time out here in Season 3. Macktee finished 2nd back then. So Macktee, as we know, has had pace forever. But was always 2nd place, it would seem. They're hoping for something better here today. But they're going to go some, but they recovered well. But they've got M1 Righty closing them down. And nearly within the range of DRS for the Alpine driver. But Macktee has the DRS now on SS7. We're probably going to get a front row seat for a Macktee pass on SS7 into turn 10. Macktee's probably got to make a move sooner rather than later, otherwise they're going to be under all sorts of pressure from M1. I am keeping an eye on the front of this as M1 goes a little bit deep into turn 10. Macktee decides not to make a move, but we could see McLaren and an Alpine disappearing past two Mercedes here. SS7 will try to protect their teammate in front of them. Macktee has got very close behind SS7 here, pulls out to the left hand side and is through on SS7. Are they going to go through on Jakub? Not quite, tucked back in behind the Mercedes. M1 wasn't able to go with them, but will now have the same job ahead of them on SS7 to do. Macktee shaping for a move into turn 4 on Jakub. Very tight line from M1, has the outside. Coming up to turn 5, trying to go round the outside of SS7. Have they done it? Yes, they have. Great move from M1 past the aging tyres of SS7. SS7 drops it back down into 6th place. Respectful driving from everyone there as Macktee moves up into 4th. M1 righty moves up into 5th. But that's really helped M1 get onto the rear end of Macktee. So M1 now, will they get through on both Macktee and Jakub? Jakub's done a great job of defending here, particularly the two Mercedes working together. We've got 3 more laps left to go, including the one that we're on. Now only 2 more when we start lap 32 for these drivers. Macktee now with the DRS on the Mercedes, looking to quickly get past Jakub. They're going to go round the outside. Tom trying to find a way. Are they going to go down the inside? Jakub takes the outside. M1 righty has the inside of turn 1. Through on the Mercedes. No real ability to defend there from Jakub on those very old hard tyres. Now M1 has the job of getting past on Macktee. Are they going to go down the inside of the McLaren? They think about it. We saw them do a move there earlier on. Now they'll have the outside for turn 5. Stays to the outside. Does Macktee give them room on the exit? It's very tight. They have to squeeze together, but they stay on track. That's allowing the Mercedes of Jakub to get back into the fight here. Let's ride on board with M1 righty. Can they find a way through on Macktee? They might think better of it, but Jakub would love to get back through here on the Alpine of M1. But just so much less grip on the front tyres for Jakub. We saw them massive understeer there into turn 10. So M1 now, they're 3/10 back from Macktee as we come round turn 14. Back onto the start-finish straight. DRS is open. Macktee moving to defend. As we're on the last lap here, and M1's through on the inside of turn 1. The cars touch as M1 comes through into 3rd place, has that spot on the podium. Macktee now having to defend desperately from the two Mercedes behind them. We've got to get up to the front, folks, on this final lap because it's all going on between Geraza and Tom 1998 for victory here for the penultimate round of Season 4 of G-Force Racing. Geraza in the lead. They want their I believe their second win. Tom 1998 wants their second win with G-Force Racing. We're going to come down to turn 10 for the very last time. Tom goes to the inside. They touch. As Geraza takes to the outside there. They will now have Geraza has the inside for turn 12. Tom trying to go the long way round. Goes onto the gravel. And Geraza stretches away in the lead as a result of Tom having to go wide there on the exit of 12. And Geraza is going to come over the line to win here in Spain. Tom is going to take second place. M1 righty is doing their best to hang on to third, but Macktee's right behind them. And M1 righty takes third. Macktee takes fourth after a brilliant recovery from them. Jakub comes home in 5th place and takes victory in Season 4 provisionally, barring some kind of crazy thing after today's race. We'll give out all the awards officially next week. Obo comes home in 6th, my apologies, all thanks to that track limit penalty for SS7, taking SS7 down into 7th, but SS7 back on the scoring sheets where they normally are in 7th. Emelecki finishing there in 8th, and then the two Williams finishing in 9th and 10th. Everyone there getting points. Well, we are going to go and hopefully talk to our brand new champion. Hopefully, if Jakub will stick around in his garage, we're going to have a chat with them in just a moment. But let's get the final classification, if the game will do its honours. But congratulations to GoatGhosty taking victory here in Spain. Very tight battle with Tom at the very end of this race, but GoatGhosty is on the top step of the podium, takes their second victory for G-Force Racing. If I've missed a victory for you, GoatGhosty, I do apologise, but I think it's 2 now for you after your second place last week in Saudi Arabia. Great battle between you and Tom at the front of this race, and I've got to give driver of the day to GoatGhosty for making that medium soft strategy work and winning the race. You might disagree with me, folks. I wouldn't blame you. It's a pretty decent recovery from Macktee to finishing 4th also. So here's the final classification. M1 Races in the Twitch chat. Welcome back, my friend. Back on the podium. 3rd for you. GoatGhosty was our victor here. Tom in 2nd. M1 in 3rd. Macktee in 4th. Great recovery drive. Jakub in 5th. Obo in 6th. SS7 in 7th. Embelecki 8th. Jaguar 4th, 9th. And Geo in 10th. GoatGhosty sadly finishing, or not finishing I should say, but on the timing screen there, in 11th. So it's not been the climax perhaps we thought it might be, but nonetheless an incredibly exciting race. Well done to all of our drivers. Now we must see if we can have a chat with our victor in the championship. Let me dive into the Mercedes garage. Jakub and SS7, are you both there? Right. Jakub, congratulations. Drivers' Champion Season 4 of G-Force Racing. How does that feel? Well, I think back to some of your early races with us, and you were struggling there in the midfield, finding your way in the game, and here you are today, our victor, and you're going to go in the Hall of Fame alongside the drivers of Predestinato and M1 Righty, who you were fighting against today. That's got to be pretty special, huh? And I believe, guys, given your finishing positions, you may well have wrapped up the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes as well. So should be double celebrations tonight. SS7, you've had some troubles in recent weeks, but how was the race here for you today? Sorry, guys. So really... I'm going to apologise to our viewers. We are going to do that bit all again because I've just noticed that the Discord channel was muted. So we're going to do that again. Right, take 2. All right. So,
no.
Live TV, folks. All right. So, and I made that mistake before. It's because I had no one in my commentary channel with me today. All right. So, Jakub, we're going to do that again. Cut, edit. Well, I'm in the Mercedes garage with the Mercedes drivers of Jakub and SS7 and our new champion of Season 4. Jakub, congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you, mate. It feels unbelievable. I really didn't expect this season to win a championship. I didn't want to even race here for this season and wanted to stop in the middle of a season. But yeah, I stay, and I am the champion. I can't believe this.
And the race, I mean, you took those. You started on the mediums, then switched to the hards. Did you think were you feeling that was the right strategy? We saw so many different options being chosen, and the victors today went medium softs. Did you even consider that, or is it just more about securing enough points for the championship?
This was about the safe strategy. It wasn't. I didn't even want to win, honestly. I just wanted to be in front of GoatGhosty, which later in the race he retired. I really don't know why. But yeah, this was a safe strategy, and we tried it. It didn't pay out. Happens. Well,
it certainly worked well enough for you today. You got more than enough points, even with
even if you didn't finish in the end, but you'd have won the championship nonetheless. But huge congratulations, and as I say, you go alongside the names of Predestinato from season 1, M1 Righty from seasons 2 and 3, and we now have Desaves or Jakub in the Hall of Fame. So huge congratulations to you. And as we were saying, as I just coming to SS7 before I realised that everyone was muted, SS7, not a bad race from you. You seem to stick with Jakub, and you may well have wrapped up the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes as well. So you're pretty pleased with the season?
Overall, very pleased. I really feel like I could have finished a few more races. But to be honest, Jakub's done really well. Since the start when he joined, he's like properly improved. And it's definitely shown in the season.
There is no question of that whatsoever. Well, guys, thank you ever so much. Huge congratulations on provisionally what is the Drivers' Championship win and the Constructors' Championship win. We'll be handing out prizes on screen next week. But I guess we'll be coming back for a victory lap in Brazil. Are you going to both be here next week?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
I think SS7 you have to be because it's your league. So...
No, don't say that. It's then it ruins the immersion.
So, well, we know how.
But
this
yes,
right. We know.
no, you are right.
No, that's great. Well done, guys. Congratulations. A great performance this season. And Jakub, once again, season 4 champion. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
See you, mate.
All right, folks, I've got to get used to hitting unmute on the Discord audio when I've not had someone in the commentary box with me. So I hope you don't mind me repeating some of those questions, but I really wanted you to hear from Jakub there and from SS7 on what has been a very, very successful day for them and for Mercedes. I think that's pretty much sorted the GoatGhosty. Is it going to mean they finish in second? Not quite. M. Dorling may be back next week in Brazil, so M. Dorling might have designs on second place in the championship. Maybe Obo's thinking along similar lines as well, with a reasonably okay finish here in Spain as well. Macktee will have moved up some points, or added points to their score, as Gareza definitely would have done with their victory here in Spain. So as a reminder, folks, we are going to be back next week, one more time in season 4. One of my favourite tracks on the F1 calendar in Brazil, Interlagos, tight, twisty track, but always promotes fantastic racing. Very much looking forward to that one. What a great way to close out what has been a very, very entertaining season. Some cracking drivers. We've enjoyed introducing some of the new components like Dorling's GFR Digest, and indeed the chats with the drivers, both during races where we're able to, it's safe to do so, and at the end of the race when I remember to hit unmute. And we'll look to do more of that in Brazil and into season 5, and season 5 will be coming. So if you have enjoyed watching here today, or you're watching back on YouTube at some point in the future and you want to get involved with G-Force Racing out there on track, maybe in the commentary box here with me and help me press the right buttons, maybe in the PR, the media side of things, we would love to hear from you. We also need assistance in the FIA. We have a great team in the FIA, but you're welcome to come and join us in there if you've got something to contribute. Please do head over to the Discord server. The link to that is on my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel. Head over there, sign up for something, come and say hi, and come and be part of that incredible G-Force Racing community. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed today. My commiserations to GoatGhosty. My huge congratulations to Jakub and SS7 and the whole Mercedes team on a pretty special season for them. Come and join us for what I think will be a lot of fun next week in Brazil as we close out season 4. And it will be, I think, one for
one to watch for all the entertainment. All the pressure will be off for some, but there will be some still looking to move further up the finishing order. There's still stuff to play for. Not everything is decided just yet. Come and join us next week. We'll be live 8 p.m. UK time for the final round of Season 4 here on M1 Racing. Until then, have a very, very good week ahead, and we look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. See you next week, folks. Bye for now.